Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullin of Oklahoma, member of the Armed Services and Appropriations Committees. Great to have you in focus.
Thanks,
I just want to get your top-line thoughts on what's happening right now and where we are in this case. There are a lot of questions, obviously, about this Afghan national.
Yeah, there is a lot of questions swirling around it because he was part of an elite program that was part of a program that Langley was involved in. It seems like he was operational, meaning he was in the fight with a paramilitary group for almost 10 years. And then what happened when he came to the United States? It looks like he came over a month after the disastrous withdrawal in August of 2021. There's some reports coming out that he was asked to stay, him and his unit was asked to stay to help secure assets that Secretary Blinken and President Biden had left behind. And then when he came over, he was evidently part of a program that was promised assistance from the U.S., and that program completely abandoned him 6 months into it, meaning the Biden administration abandoned him. We don't know what led to where he is today because there's no excuse at all for that. But when you have guys that were working with the United States in a paramilitary form, and you bring them to the United States and you just drop them off, think about how many concerns and assistance we give to our veterans right now that fought in Afghanistan. And then you take somebody like that that's not even from the U.S., that was operational for 10 years, and you drop him into our streets with no checkups. That's a failure from the Biden administration completely.
You know, it is so helpful to have what you just said. That's just the raw truth of it all. And right. I know when we pulled out of that country, it wasn't just the blood and treasure, but there was a fight to help those people who had helped us. So I understand that. But what you're saying was we had a responsibility then under the Biden administration. Our nation did not only to vet them, but to make sure that that vetting continued once they were here. That is fascinating.
The mental health part of it. I mean, you think about how many veterans we have that have suicide tendencies or go through a suicide, 1 in 22, that have mental breakdowns, right? And those are individuals that were deployed to a country to fight against the war on terror. Now, you have an individual like him that, and other people that was part of this organization that was operational for 10, 20 years possibly, and then they get here, they've lost their country, they've lost their identity, they've had to leave a lot of times their extended family behind, and then you just drop them here and there's no wellness checks. There's no ability to say, hey, do you have a job, or how's your housing going? How's your relationship going with your family? And then there's that added pressure on top of it. And like I said, this was a failure. Now, there's no excuse for what took place at all.
No, but I would imagine he'd be tender to radicalization.
That's right. Because just think about this, Harris. If he left and he got his wife and kids out, but his parents and his brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews were left behind, and Al-Qaeda got hold of him and used them as a leverage point, that could be easy transition into radicalization.
All right, we'll move forward. It's a dangerous time to be a law enforcement officer in this country. We know that. They're under fire, literally. Right now, a House panel is holding a hearing to examine both attacks and vile rhetoric that can prove to be very lethal.
The line between criticism and outright incitement is growing thinner, and too often that line is being crossed. When anyone seeks to portray law enforcement as enemies of the people, it signals that something is terribly wrong.
According to DHS assaults on ICE agents, those numbers are up by more than 1,000%, and threats are up a staggering 8,000%. The Fraternal Order of Police reporting 342 officers were shot in the line of duty last year. And we've seen images like this over and over and over. Federal agents every day facing violence, rocks, bottles, planters thrown at them by rioters. And here's just some of the rhetoric on the left side of the political aisle that's fueling it.
Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo.
When I see ICE, I see slave patrols.
The dangers that we saw in Nazi Germany.
ICE agents running around our communities like masked bank robbers.
Secret police who are wearing masks ICE agents who have functionally become a secret federal police force.
Hopping out of unmarked vans, stealing and, yes, kidnapping people.
This is Gestapo-like behavior.
What terrorism looks like. This is it.
It does look like a Gestapo operation.
Talk about radicalization. It sounds like they don't love our country.
Well, it's not anti-police, it's anti-American, because either we're a nation of laws or we're a lawless nation. And why these individuals came to the United States to begin with is because they're running from a lawless nation. And now we have Democrat leaders that are from the extreme fringes that are truly anti-American, saying, hey, you don't have to abide by our laws. But these are the same ones that supported open borders. These are the same ones that supported zero bail to be bailed out of jail, to release criminals onto the streets. These are the same individuals, Harris, that have supported defunding police. And when they are openly out there saying that these individuals are criminals, they're justifying the actions and fueling the fire of those on the streets. And so what do they expect to happen? That's why I say this is anti-American, not anti-police only.
Look, circling back just for a second with the Afghan national at the heart of the attacks on the National Guardsmen, do you think there are more of those people? That the Biden administration so botched that withdrawal from Afghanistan that we have more of these people among us, and the president now and his administration have to try to find them? I only have a few seconds.
Well, there was 9,000 of them trained. We have roughly 3,000 inside the United States, and I would say we're doing a very good job trying to touch base with every one of them right now.
Oh, that's a blessing. Senator, always great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on.
10 years from now, a little boy is going to pull out his phone.